Brought to you by ExpressCare Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are talking about the growing trend of extreme sports and fitness, and how to know when too much is, or when enough is enough. Joining us again is ExpressCare's Dr. Jitka Lom. Now, Doc, let's take a look at some of our viewers' questions. Our first viewer is asking, I have seen people work out to the point of throwing up. Is that unsafe? I've done that too.
Yeah. It is a bit unsafe. Sometimes it's because you're just exhausted and very tired, but your body temperature hasn't changed. You're just really out of shape, and the extreme exertion is making you feel nauseated. Other times it can be a sign of actual dehydration or a rise in your core temperature, which is extremely unsafe. So you don't really need to push it that hard for most people. And if you are pushing it that hard, you don't want to go from the couch to vomiting. You want to take your time and accelerate and increase your daily activity over at least several weeks before you get to the point of pushing yourself that hard.
All right. Our next viewer is asking, can it be dangerous to run during the hot hours of the day? And why do people do it?
Yeah, it's a question of why do they do it. Sometimes you even see people wearing like heavy outfits when they're running in this extreme
sauna
heat.
suits or something.
Yeah, and I think they think that by sweating more or getting hotter, you're somehow burning fat, and that's really not the case. You're burning fat through your metabolism of using the energy that's needed from the fat to fuel your body, but you're not sort of melting the fat by sweating or increasing your body temperature. So it's really much healthier and usually quite a little bit wiser to run in the early morning or in the late evening, so that you're not taking the risk of dehydration or heat exhaustion.
So sweat isn't...
Sweat is not a measure of your physical exertion. It's a measure of your heat on the inside. So yes, when you're perspiring, I mean, if you're exercising and you're perspiring, you're generating some internal heat, and that's why you're sweating. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if you just sit in a hot room that you're somehow burning anything.
Burning away the fat.
Yeah. People tell me that a lot in the clinic. They say, do you exercise? I go, well, I sweat a lot. That really has nothing to do with whether you're moving your heart, whether you're moving your muscles, whether you're getting physically fit. You're just perspiring because you're warm inside.
All right. Now our next viewer has a really good question. What are some foods, drinks that are good to replenish the body after a strenuous workout? We have so many, like...
Yes. People have like energy bars and stuff like that. Those are actually dry, right? So you're replenishing some glucose or fuel. But what you want to do is replenish electrolytes and water. So you can do that with your Gatorade or Powerade, one of these type of sports drinks that give you electrolytes back. Or you could just, eat fluid-rich foods. Okay, that would be like fruits and vegetables. Cut up the orange slices. Those kind of foods. That watermelon would be a great one. Grapes, things that are sweet and also full of liquid or fluid.
Now I'm wondering, between Gatorade, the coconut juice, and Pedialyte, because I see some, some of those really gun-ho workout artists, I would call them, they drink those three things.
Yes,
so which of the three is the best?
Well, Pedialyte has less sugar, okay, than something like Gatorade and Powerade. Vitamin water really doesn't have vitamins. But so if you're going to drink Pedialyte, it's going to probably give you a little bit better rehydration. You can make your own rehydration formula. You just Google it, and a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of water, a little bit of baking soda, and you can make your own. So you don't actually have to spend money. But yeah. And then as far as coconut juice, though, that is amazing. That is really super healthy and a great way to rehydrate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now our next viewer is asking, are there any dangers to CrossFit or intense physical training?
Yeah. I think the danger there would be, again, not being sufficiently conditioned, going from, muscles that are not big enough, not strong enough to handle that extreme type of workout. So I have seen this where people did CrossFit activities and then developed tremendous swelling and pain in their muscles of their arms, of their legs also, but usually the arms, because those muscles are really used in those kettlebell exercises and so on. they're creating muscle damage. And you have to think to yourself, okay, if you're going to damage your muscles, you're trying to build muscle, but you're damaging them. So long term, how long is it going to take you to really create the power that you want if you overdo it? So slow and steady wins the race. You want to take it slow, this is a long-term goal you have. So once the muscles start hurting, it's a sign, it's a message from your body to lay off.
All right, now can your muscles be healed after they've been damaged?
Well, the thing with rhabdomyolysis, it depends on the depth and the seriousness of the injury. So sometimes muscles are damaged to the point where people need surgery to remove basically dead muscle. I mean, that can happen. Or there's been so much protein breakdown that their kidneys have actually been damaged to the point of needing to be on dialysis to get through this injury. And sometimes there's even death. So really you don't want to take it to that level. But in a young healthy person where they get rhabdomyolysis, the recovery is going to be about a month for their muscle to get back to normal. It may be weaker for a while, and then full recovery is possible though.
Okay, and real quick, how long does it take to get hydrated in the hot sun?
It just depends on what you're doing in the hot sun. But let's say you're running the marathon and the sun's beaming down on you and you're drinking water, you may be losing it just as fast as you're putting it in. So how long, a rule of thumb would be that within 1 or 2 hours you may begin to catch up on your losses. So you just don't really want to get behind the 8 ball. You want to be, if it's a hot day and you're exercising, and this can be even things like outdoor bush cutting, yard work, those type of things. You want to stay ahead of it and keep drinking before you start to feel hot, before you start to feel weak, and especially before you start vomiting or getting those signs of heat stroke.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, when Healthy Living returns, we'll be wrapping up the show.